want to talk to David. David's calling from Washington, D.C., listens on WAVA. Hello, David. Welcome to New Life.
Hey, Steve. Thank you for taking my call.
Certainly.
I appreciate your program, and my wife and I have listened to you and gained a lot of insight and advice over the years, so thank you.
Thanks, David. Thank you. How can we help you today?
Well, your screener told me to give just a brief background before I ask my question, so I'll be just very, very brief.
Okay.
20 years ago, two sisters dated two brothers. Both the sisters and the brothers behaved as, basically married couples in the way that they lived and dated, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
I do.
Eventually, the one sister married the one brother.
Mm-hmm.
The other sister, who is now my wife of 3 years, they never did get married. She went on and they broke up, as, young couples do, and she went and lived her life.
Yeah.
The issue, or I guess the question, I'm trying to put this in a form of a question, is we've gotten resources from you, like the book on boundaries, and when we've put presented those things to family members, there's a lot of grief in the fact that we don't, and it's because of me mostly, obviously, we don't want to necessarily be a part of those family functions when it involves this other brother.
Okay.
So
she's related.
Meaning your wife's former boyfriend.
Right. She's related to her
Correct.
ex-boyfriend.
Correct.
Yeah, through marriage.
Correct.
Okay.
And the reason for that is?
The reason for that is, I'm sure I have feelings of jealousy. I have feelings of, I just resent the fact that, someone else has been with my wife. And then I guess to some degree, and this is, I don't know, why this is, or if this is just programming from, being a guy, there's just this yuck factor of the fact that, I don't want to be around that situation.
No.
Okay.
Is there any other reason? For example, sometimes you don't want to be in a situation like that because there's still kind of this lingering thing between them, or he hits on her, or he, whatever, or she.
Suspicion.
Yeah. What I'm asking is the situation in and of itself normal, clean, and great, and you're bringing some issues to this, or are there some real issues?
We have never a situation where we've all been together yet.
How long have you guys been married?
Just 3 years.
3 years. And this was 20 years ago?
20 years ago, yes.
And how long was the relationship with that guy?
A couple years.
Okay. All right. And what does your wife say about her feelings about him and the reality of the marriage and all?
She assures me that there's nothing between them, that, she could basically care less.
Yeah.
And I understand that, and I'm, we've gone to counseling, we pray about it, we're reading the Word, we've met with pastors.
So,
like I say, we've read the book's Boundaries. I mean, we're
David?
doing everything we can to really address this, in a mature way.
okay, except David, I'm wondering what you're afraid of. Because are you telling me that you were never with anybody else before your wife?
No, actually, I was married for almost 30 years, and then my wife
Whoa, okay.
had an affair, and
Okay.
since then I've dated, and I've now met this woman who she was married prior, and
Okay.
so I do get the fact, we're older, and I do get all that.
Right, but the obvious thing, David, your wife had an affair, okay, after 30 years, okay? I mean, that hurts, and that's a hard thing to get over with such a long-standing relationship. So it stands to reason that you may be putting that situation into this new setting.
Right.
Because,
I understand that.
Right. But, I mean, because your wife, she's got to get over the fact that you had a wife for 30 years.
Right. Right. I understand.
Right.
The other thing too is that he didn't sleep with your wife in a manner of speaking. You know, that was 20 years ago. She was a different person. She had not matured into the person she is today, who loves you so very much. He has no idea what a wonderful person she has become, and how she's grown from the hurts and things of that nature. Sometimes if we could reframe the person's life into, well, he was with her when she was, you know, that other person, that young kid. I am with this fully developed woman who I love to death, and she loves me. Sometimes it helps us to build that bridge of acceptance, which is what, if she's ever going to get to be with her family with you, there's got to be some level of acceptance. I think everybody sympathizes with you of not wanting to be around somebody who's been so close to your wife. But maybe there's a way to see it in a different light, that it might be possible. Not every day, not every month, but just on occasion. We're talking to David, and his wife has a sister who married his wife's ex-boyfriend, and they were intimate.
Ex-boyfriend's brother.
And they were intimate, and it is a problem. Now,
Because in family gatherings, his wife's ex-boyfriend shows up.
yeah.
Right.
Now here's what I would like to suggest. Did anything we say cause any different feeling in you, or anything before the break?
Yes, I mean, I you know, you're right. My wife is just this, you know, beautiful, mature Christian woman now. I mean, this was way before she was ever, you know, knew the Lord or
How old is she now?
baptized or anything.
How old is she?
Excuse me?
How old is she?
45.
Okay, so she was 25 years old when she,
Yeah.
when
I
she
was rounding off numbers.
Okay. Here's
Yeah.
what I want to make a suggestion to you. I want you to do a research project.
Okay.
And you can handle this, because I can tell just by talking to you. Go be part of one of those family events and see what that guy's attitude is toward you. Is he arrogant, like, hey, look, you know, or is he a humble, connecting gentleman? And I think you might be surprised that this isn't even a blip on his radar screen.
Okay.
That maybe he barely.
Then again, he might be the other kind that's just a real jerk, and, you know, he.
Well, but let's take that for example, because what I was picturing was, okay, what if you're a fly on the wall, and these two guys are both in that gathering, and David, you are a humble, strong, secure, non-threatening gentleman, and he turns out to be the total jerk. What do you think is going to be happening in her? She's going to be thanking God that she's where she is, that she dodged a bullet, and I think that's one of the ways you got to look at this.
Rather than pick a guy that's still living 20 years ago, be with someone that's still back there 20 years ago.
Well, and so there's something to be said with this experiment and kind of facing your fear, David, and going and seeing that it's not what you imagined it to be. And then that'll give you more data.
I understand that. I know our imaginations are way worse than reality.
And I would just frame it. What's the word I'm looking for? Construct it. Where when you talk to her about this, talk to her from your fear, not from trying to control it.
Yeah.
In other words, say, okay, I'm going to this way. I'll let you know. You know, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared you're going to look at him and you're going to start. And
bring it into relationship.
Be vulnerable, not controlling.
Be with each other.
Don't be angry. Be vulnerable.
But David, we're not saying start a Thursday night bingo night for the entire extended family and expect you to, you know.
You don't have to be his best friend.
Or going to business together.
Yeah, but there might be times when it would be really great for everybody, for your wife, if everybody could be together, and it'd be great if you could somehow bridge over to that place of acceptance.
Right, because controlling all the circumstances, David, isn't going to help you. You can't control today what was done to you, you know, by your previous wife.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
All right. Now I'm gonna send you a copy of Regret Free Living. I'm so glad you called, and I would love for you to call us back after you do that little experiment project.
I'll do that.
I am curious to
Yes.
know how you're going to be. I hope
how he was.
you're going to be like Henry said, and I'm hoping that he's going to respond in like kind. So hold on. We'll get Regret Free Living to you.
You know, trust is sexy.
Oh, it is. It really is.
And if he can communicate to her that he really trusts her and he doesn't have to control her and he is not threatened, that's a real turn on. And what happens is when people get possessive and controlling, that's like, a cold
they
shower.
create the very thing that they're fearing, right? Because who wants
Right.
to be controlled?
Right.
It's natural to push away from that.
I don't want to be controlled. Let's talk
It
to.
is for freedom that Christ died.
Yeah.
It is.
Isn't that a great verse?
Oh,
It is for free. Like he died for freedom. God's
Right.
into freedom.
and he didn't come to condemn us, but he came that we might be set free.
Free.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.